this week's installment of The Terry Show. So go ahead, tell Scott all about your job prospect. He's going to ask me, so you might as well hear it from you.
I have a few prospects this week. I still have possibly the one in Tarrytown with dry cleaner, but I don't know yet. I called him back. There was no answer. I left him a message. I have my temp job that called with an offer in Brewster, possibly, but I have to wait until she calls me back. I have another temp offer in Danbury, which is a long-term temp job or temp to hire. The other one with my regular temp agency is only like 3 weeks, possibly a few weeks longer, but they're not sure yet. Oh, and I have a prospect in the school doing the cafeteria, but that one is in Dobbs Ferry, and that's full 35 hours a week. Or I could do it in Yorktown, but that's only part-time hours. It's only 4 hours a day. But at least I have some prospects.
Okay, Scott, you heard it. Now you don't have to ask me. Oh, did he guess your temp agency right that time? Weeks ago.
What did he say?
I don't know. I said something about you worked through a temp agency, and he rattled off a name. Like, asked me that one. Well, he knows because he's been in the same temp agencies probably.
It could have been. I don't know what he said.
And he said, I said, I don't know. You'd have to ask her. But it was in one of the videos, but I don't remember what he said now. You'll have to ask him. You'll see him soon enough, I guess.
No!
What? He's around.
Stop
He doesn't
it!
live that far from you. You're bound to run into him sooner or later.
He never tells me where he lives.
He doesn't tell me either. I got to get a hold of Mike and just
Hell.
pin Mike down in the exact road or whatever.
Why does he want anybody to know where he lives? I'm not going to like knock on his door and come visit or anything.
He's a man of secrets. Maybe he's afraid to do that. I don't know. Terry. Don't ask me.
Damn.
Don't ask me. You know, I'm not the one to ask on that. Look at the piles of snow still in the cemetery. As long as dead people stay under the ground, we're okay.
Oh!
What?
There's a beautiful pet cemetery on Second Life, too.
Really? How uplifting. The fake life has a cemetery and everything.
Yeah.
Did they have real funerals?
Well, I'm sure that you could.
Oh, so you can kill yourself on Second Life. They'll have a funeral for you.
No.
You get eaten by zombies.
Well,
They'll have a funeral for you, what's left of you. And someone gets you in the head afterwards. The zombie hunters spike you. So then they'll put you in a little imaginary box, put you in the cemetery. Then every time you go to Second Life, you have to stay in that little box in the cemetery. I hope someone comes along to visit.
no, it's a pet cemetery. You can bury your pets in there.
Lovely.
Well, you can either memorialize your real life pets there, or you
Okay.
can bury your Second Life pets there too, if they die.
So you can kill off. How do fake pets die? I mean,
If you kill them off.
so if you're like a serial killer who kills little animals, you can do that and then bury them in the pet cemetery. Nice place. How many of these guys running around there are Jeffrey Dahmer? John Wayne Gacy, or what's the other one from Florida there? Nice. These are the people you hang out with over there?
It's cute, and you can buy virtual flowers and.
Wait a minute. I've heard cemeteries called everything under the sun, but never cute. Okay? This is a place of death and sorrow. It's not cute. That's one word I would never use to describe it. Cute. You know, there's supposed to be people standing around crying and shit, not fucking saying, oh, lovely. How pastel wallpaper in the mausoleum is such a nice improvement. You see that disgusting thing was on AOL, or it was on the news too. These people have been fighting for years because I guess apparently their mother's tomb started to leak. And whenever they get to the mausoleum, they go there and they've seen liquid and they smell terrible smells.
That's disgusting.
What gets me is the mother's been dead for 25 years. And yet she's still ripe. That shows you how long it takes above ground and embalmed burials, I guess, to decompose. I would have thought she'd been a mummy 20 years ago at the least, but I guess not. Cemetery said they fixed it. They come back the next time and it's right back again. And why go back after that? You know, who would go there to smell that? Oh, yep, that's Mom. You know, I recognize her perfume under the decomp. You know, it's disgusting. The whole concept of mausoleums are disgusting anyway when you think about it. they can build up enough
Methane?
methane gas to reach critical mass, and then the body
Explodes.
yes, it does, with the coffin with it. And if you happen to be standing near it at the time, it blew apart a couple of mausoleum chambers. I mean, showering.
Disgusting.
I don't believe anybody was actually in the line of fire at the time but they discovered it shortly thereafter. Somebody was traumatized and they came along to visit somebody, and there it was. Somebody's skeletal remains splattered all over the walls, dripping off the ceiling.
God,
Well, the process to make that methane,
that's disgusting.
the body basically liquefies. So you have a liquid soup of, biological material and bones and shreds of cloth or whatever, and coffin material. And when that damn thing lets go, you have an explosion and it blows it all over the place.
But in Louisiana, they have to do that.
Yes, they do, but they know how to vent. They know how to vent the tombs. So that doesn't happen. It's a year and a day down there. That's the rule. Then they can clean out to the niche and put somebody else in there, put the bones somewhere else. Some kind of crypt or whatever. Or you can take them home, I guess. I don't know. Not really sure what they do, but that's just plain nasty when you think about it. Boom! What was that? Bang from the mausoleum. I'm glad I don't know anybody in the mausoleums. I don't have to visit them. At least if that happens in the ground, and it has happened, it's contained. Yeah, screw that. Bury me the Jewish fashion. Simple pine box in the ground. No fancy embalming crap. The embalming is terrible. When you know what it's all about, what they do to people, oh God.
Well, don't they drain your blood and stuff?
That's part of the process, yes. But there's so much more to it.
What else do they do?
Well, for one thing,
What do you care? You're dead.
part of the embalming, do you really want your body desecrated that way?
What do they do?
Well, for one thing, they have to remove.
Well, I'd rather that than wake up down there.
They have to remove your internal organs. They can't embalm your internal organs because that's where the bacteria is. They're simply not going to work. They can embalm your muscles and stuff like that. So they have to remove your internals. They have to remove your brain. They use specialized tools to do this. It's pretty nasty. It really is. And it involves, all kinds of pins and plugs and caps to make you look more natural.
So what do they do with all those organs that they take out? If
Well,
you're not an organ donor, what do they do? Do
either
they throw them out, or
they-
do they still
no.
sell them?
Well, they can't do anything with something from a deceased corpse. That's already too late for that. When they harvest organs, they have to do it right away. For most things, I think you have a little more time for corneas, things like that. But for like hearts and livers and things like that, that's right away. They keep you alive on a heart-lung machine.
Okay.
And then they harvest what they're going to harvest, and they unplug you. But then hearts too. But from a funeral home, bone marrow maybe, skin grafts possibly. I'm not sure. There's been a few scandals involving that, but
Oh, did you hear that guy that they thought was dead?
yeah, the old man who woke up in the
died.
he woke up in the mortuary. How nice, boy! That is the grounds for a massive lawsuit.
But he died again.
He did
This time
die?
for real.
And I bet this time they were very, very certain of it. I poked him with a pin a few times just to make sure.
They said something happened with his pacemaker, that it stopped and
Yeah.
then it like restarted.
restarted.
again.
Yeah,
It's freaky.
poor bastard. He
Ugh.
wakes up in a damn nice. Well, that's not the first time that's happened. Not by a long shot. There was one about a woman who it's a disease that you can have. It's a neurological disorder. You can literally be like you're dead. You drop to the ground. You have no respiration. You're very, very a pulse so low that without specialized equipment, even with it, you may be missed. It's like a sleeping sickness, and you will not respond to any stimuli. So what happens is
Not narcolepsy.
no, much worse than that. There's a name for it. I don't remember. It was on a whole YouTube special I was watching on that.
I know what you're talking about too, but I don't know what it is.
But the story was this woman, she was from England. As a teenager, it happened once. She basically collapsed while out with friends. They took her to the hospital, pronounced her dead, woke up on a mortuary slab. Screaming in shock, and wake up surrounded by corpses. How nice.
It's something to do with like a paralysis or something. that
Yes.
Can't move.
Yes, it almost is like rigor mortis. And doctors are not trained to recognize it, apparently. Not then, and apparently not now, because the last time it happened was only like a few years ago or whatever. And she moved to Australia, and she woke up in a morgue on a stainless steel table surrounded by dead bodies. What a nice thing to wake up to in the morning. Most people think just waking up to the sun is hard enough, never mind corpses. Now, in the old days, that was such a fear that a lot of times you had money.
Bell ringers.
The bell ringers, yes. Yeah. You had a bell attached to your finger, running through a hole in the
But
coffin.
that's only
to
good
dump.
if people are standing there and can hear it.
They would have someone standing there. They would. Somebody would be hired just for that. And, a cemetery watch. Oh yeah, just in case the bell starts ringing, because people did get buried alive. And that's a nasty, nasty way to go. Just think about that. When you wake up in a box in the ground. Yeah, okay, buddy, wave. You wake up in you look at that cemetery over there. How many graves you think are there? I'm going to guess there's nearly 1,000 burials there, maybe more. Going all the way back to the 1840s, probably around there, maybe even earlier. Statistically speaking, it's very likely that there's going to be at least a few of those people who were alive when they went in the ground, especially from long, long ago. In the 19th century, they didn't have all the fancy crap we have now, so sometimes.
They didn't do embalming either.
Yes, they did.
Way back in the 1900s?
Yes, but it was only for the wealthy, people who could afford it. The average person did not get embalmed, especially out in the countryside. Embalming actually predates the American Civil War. And the reason why it came to be was because they had to have a way to be able to transport a body back home from the battlefield when they died in the days when they did not have refrigeration, and it wasn't wintertime. Wintertime, it's easy. The corpse is frozen. Put it in a box, ship it north or wherever. If it takes a week, it's still going to be frozen when it gets there. But, like Gettysburg was in, most battles were in the warm months because battles were fought in nice weather, in the warmth. So you got these bodies, and say you're, a scion of some wealthy family, and they want your body back. Well, they have a choice here. They can either get back a putrefying corpse, or they could have you embalmed. They had a lot of very good people, technicians that did this, and they would send the bodies home. Especially sealed boxes, all that kind of stuff. Look at Lincoln. When Abraham Lincoln died, they paraded him around half the country, everywhere. It took a long time. And all during the trip, they had embalmers working on him at every stop, touching up the makeup, making sure he wasn't deteriorating. In fact, toward the end, he really did start to deteriorate so badly they had to make things like the tip of his nose out of clay and stuff like that just to keep it lifelike. Nasty, but that's what they did. That was another.
Speaking of presidents, did you ever go to Grand Central and see Franklin Delano Roosevelt's car?
I have seen the one at Hyde Park.
Oh, but this one's in Grand Central.
The blue 1936
came
Ford.
Into the city.
No, I have not seen that
and
one.
he had his own separate Ram.
Yeah, well, he was president. Yeah,
The car is still there.
A blue four-door, I believe it's a 35 or a 36 Ford. I have a picture of it somewhere. It was in Hyde Park, down in the basement of one of the buildings there. They showed us. It has the hand controls and all that stuff on it. Even though he rarely drove himself. Well, actually, no. They said around there.
It was like all gold or something. His car.
No.
Train car.
I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know about that, but why would it be gold? That would usually. Usually they would not want it to stick out.
Well, it wasn't like because he had his own platform. It was like a hidden platform.
Well, he did, but I mean, the train car he actually had to travel around the country in. If there was going to be a bomb plot or something,
but it was like protected. So.
Well, it would have been, as much as they could for the day. There's certain things you can't protect against, like a bomb on the tracks or whatever. But you don't want to make it obvious, so they wait until the gold car goes over spot X to hit the button. You don't want to make it easy for them. That's making it too easy. The president is in this car, that kind of thing. No. So you just think some of those poor bastards over there woke up in a box, underground, buried. Thump, 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 help, thump, 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 help, thump, 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 thump. Yes, it is. Because they have actually, like places like Paris and England, where they move cemeteries from time to time, or they disinter the dead because they need more room.
Don't they have the catacombs?
Yes, well, that's what they did with the bones. When they dug up the Paris cemeteries in 1790, I believe it was, they took all the bones, millions and millions of them, and they put them down there. Because the situation was actually getting so bad in Paris at that time that cemeteries were overflowing. They reeked horribly because the dead were so near the ground, there was no more room left. There was one story, a pub owner smelled something down in his basement. And he was next to a cemetery, so he went down to take a look, and the basement wall had split open, spilling putrid corpses right into his basement. So, something had to be done. Paris at that time was one of the filthiest cities in the world. Nothing like it is today. But they put all the bones down in the catacombs, and they're not the only country that's done that. Some use churches or whatever, they do with them. But They
St.
actually
Peter
did
is
find.
supposedly buried in the Vatican or something.
Yeah, that's why they call it St. Peter's Basilica. But what was I going to say? Oh yes, they actually did find evidence on some coffins they dug up of scratching and struggling and broken fingernails in the wood and stuff like that. Yes, yes, it is. It is. Oh yeah, I'm just saying. You want to make sure you're dead when you're dead. You know?
That's why I would want to be embalmed.
You know, there's an easier way. All I got to do is let you sit there until you start to smell a little bit. Then they know. You know? Okay, she's definitely dead. She's reeking. Her eyeballs just fell out. You know, she's dead. She's dead. There's fluids dripping onto them. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what was that show I was watching on YouTube about the LA County Coroner's Office and what they do with, like, they don't know who somebody is, how they have to, find the relatives of these people. No, it's not forensics. It's the actual coroner's office and how they have investigators.
Forensics is interesting, though.
Oh, yeah, sure. Forensics tells you how someone died. All this is not, they already know how people died. What they really need to know is how to find these people's families and stuff like that, or if they don't have any, what to do with them. But the camera crew, and that was surprisingly.
My niece taken that this year.
What, forensics? Oh my God, you better have a strong stomach.
That's what I said.
They were following the corners around, and they're going to these places with these guys that died like a week ago, and they
She likes it
decomped.
because she watches all like CSI and all that.
Yeah, there's a big difference between watching it and experiencing it.
I know.
Wait until the first time she walks in the room.
I
There's
told
a ripe,
her that.
there's a nice ripe one there.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Maggots
I'd be
and
switching out of that class so
boy,
fast.
a maggot-infested corpse that should do it.
She also taken astronomy.
That's a really, really big difference. Astronomy, which is gazing at the stars, that's nice. The planets, the celestial bodies, all that stuff. And the putrid corpses. Yeah, that's, that's a hell of a switch between classes. Let's hope she goes with the astronomy and leaves the putrid corpses.
She's going into psychology. That's what she's going for college.
Then why is she bothering with forensics?
She's just interested in it.
Well, if she's going to be a psychiatrist, they are actually medical doctors.
The psychologists.
Yeah. Do they have to be medical doctors too? I don't know.
Psychologists?
I don't know if they're MDs.
No, they just study the psychology.
Yeah, there's no
They
doctorate
study the
involved.
mind,
There's
yeah.
no doctorate involved. Yeah, okay.
They don't treat
Yeah.
psychiatrists.
They study the nut jobs. They don't actually interact with them
Yeah.
directly. Or at least not in attempting to cure them. So,
Right.
but then again, it's not going to work for her.
Why?
Oh, never mind.
Why?
That Poppy back?
No.
No, I thought the car moved.
Why?
Well, she still has to interact with her own family.
I think that's why she's going into it.
Probably, yeah. She wants to make sure, it doesn't happen to her or whatever.
She said she's going to use me as her thesis.
Well, then you should actually let her watch your YouTube videos. No. So she gets to know you better.
it.
She gets to know Aunt Terry better. All your stories are on YouTube, most of them anyway, or will be shortly, so.
No.
Well, whatever's not there now, you're bound to tell sooner or later, so let her watch those. She can use that. This way she won't have to bother you when you're busy working.
No. No.
Let's see, Aunt Terry and the bar room where she let an old guy drink out of her belly button. Episode 17. Yeah, there it is. Aunt Terry and the flag lady. Yeah, there it is. Aunt Terry and throwing Billy down the stairs. There it is.
Not.
Aunt Terry and the ant farm. Aunt Terry.
Oh, did Mike like that scream the other day?
Here he comes.
Stop.
That's Mike's car. That is him.
not.
Scott's with him, too.
No.
That's him.
No.
Here he is right there. What are you nervous about?
Stop it.
It's just Mike. See? I told
Not
you.
Mike.
Oh, no, it's some old lady. I guess that isn't Mike. Yeah.
Glad you said that.
Why, you didn't see who it was? Oh, that's right. You can't see. I forgot. Well, Mike doesn't drive a Camry anyway. He drives a Corolla. Like that one right there.
Stop.
Why are you so nervous about Mike?
Just stop.
He's always nice to you. What's he going to do to you?
He doesn't like me.
What makes you say that? He's never said it to me. I never heard him say that.
He doesn't talk very nicely about me.
Like,
ever.
why? What negativity did he ever say about you?
I told you this the last time.
What, because he calls you dummy?
Yeah.
That's a term of endearment.
And he basically calls me a loser.
Oh, come on. He's just poking fun at you. That's all. That's all. He's just breaking balls. Yeah. It's not like he's going to take an ant farm and dump it in your car or something.
Stop!
Well, I'm just saying he's not liking you to do that. They're not going to understand you saying he doesn't like you. What? What are you so nervous about?
Oh.
Come on. Just a few little ants. You're not really still scared of ants, are you?
Stop.
Are you really? I thought you work. You know something? That's what you can do with your niece.
What?
She can help you with your phobias.
Oh.
Exactly. That's a good thing then. Once she gets a little education under her belt, she can start helping you with your phobias.
She went to Mercy yesterday. They had a thing for the students. That were accepted there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, orientation.
Well, I guess something like that. Whatever it was.
Yeah, she can help you with your phobias.
I don't know if she's going there or not yet, though.
She knows your phobias, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be easy. We get a coffin.
Stop!
No, I'm just saying. This will be your ultimate phobia.
No.
A coffin full of ants and you locked inside.
Stop it!
And then buried. In a morgue.
Stop it! Apparently you know all my fears too.
Now everybody on YouTube does also.
Stop!
Nah. Well, when does
the elevator?
When does she start? Next semester, or she already in there?
No, she starts after the summer.
Well, she's graduated already then.
No, she didn't graduate high school yet. June.
Oh, yeah, I'm all confused. Yeah, you see, it's been so long since I was in school, I don't remember anymore. Yeah, that's funny. When you're in school, you know down to the microsecond when it's finally over. When you're out of school, you don't care. You know, it's another day, I gotta go to work. Big deal, you know? Or not go to work, as the case may be. But yeah, see, nothing to look forward to anymore, except death. That's it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what else do you have?
How depressing.
You spend your whole life striving to make 21 so you can drink legal, smoke, do whatever you want, vote, join the army, whatever you want to do. And the rest of your life is like anticlimactic. You got it, yeah. In a year or two, you're the old man,
I told her that the other day because we were watching videos of like when we were younger, like when we were cross country and everything, and I was only like 20-something years old, and you saw the pictures, and she said I looked really nice. I said, yeah, so I said, just think, about 20 years, that's what you got to look forward to.
Oh, that was cruel. Oh, my God. That's nasty. And what'd she say? Aunt Terry, I'm never going to look that bad. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to have a career that pays me lots and lots of money so I can afford all the plastic surgery and liposuction in the world.
I believe in au naturel.
Okay. So you want to be fat and wrinkly and gray by the time you're 61?
If people don't like that, then that's too bad.
But you know what? There's the irony here.
What?
Nothing you can do about it. You're gonna get. There's only one way to avoid that prospect, and you're already too late for that.
What?
Dying young. Is James Dean ever gonna get old? No. You're gonna see James Dean with a pot belly and gray hair, thinning gray hair, and a bald spot.
God, no.
Stooped over, No, you're never going to see that. Wearing the old man pants and, No, you're never going to see that. Why? Because he died when he was, 23 or whatever it was? Yeah, see, that's the alternative. So I think it would be a lot better to be old, gray, wrinkly, and all the rest. And that's the price you pay for sticking around a little while longer. Yeah, as long as you keep your marbles.
My mother never believed in any of that stuff either.
What?
Like, in plastic surgery.
Well, that's only for the rich.
I mean, like, stupid stuff like dyeing your hair maybe, for a little bit. But I don't do anything like... But why is somebody going to do like plastic surgery and put yourself at risk for things just... Yeah, that's stupid.
Because they suffer from vanity. That's the only reason. Or they have careers that depend on their being young. Like Cher. Everybody knows Cher's like 66 or 67, but she desperately keeps trying to look like she's 21. Now, I'm sorry, Cher, but that boat has kind of sailed. And it ain't coming back. Yeah, I don't care what kind of plastic surgery you do. The mortician might be able to do some miraculous things on you, but nobody else is gonna. People like that, the pancake makeup, the constant hair colorings and all of that shit. Augmentations involving
I accept my body the way it is.
Botox and stuff like that.
Nobody else does, and that's their problem.
Well, who would inject botulism into their body deliberately? But Hollywood superstars do this. And they look revolting when they do. With the big puffy lips and shit. You're like, my God, what the hell's the matter with you? What were you thinking? You spent $100,000 on this? Why don't you just give me the money? I could have wasted it for you. In much more creative fashions. Ugh. Now, liposuction, at least that has a useful, side effect anyway. You're at least less fat on you. But other than that, maybe it's a little bit healthier for you not to have the extra fat. But there's also health risks involved in it, like blood clots and whatnot that can form from it. So there's always a trade-off.
Better to try to do it naturally. Just lose weight.
Well, the older you get, the harder that gets.
Yeah, but there's things you can try to do like naturally that could help instead of having to do that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you could, but a lot of
People
people
always
do
just
lazy.
look for a quick fix.
Well, yeah. You know, this new generation of Hollywood powder puffs, they're all that way. There's always a new fad, diet, always a new this, always a new that. Who the hell knows? Don't know, can't tell you.
I think the reason why we're all so fat is all the crap that they put into the food.
Well, yeah, everybody knows that. You know, it was the shit we eat that, people a long time ago never ate. 100 years ago, you couldn't just go to the store and buy a prepackaged meal.
All like the preservatives and all that crap that they put in.
Well, it's not so much the preservatives, which are bad enough for you and probably do cause cancer. It's the fat content itself. Years back, you ate a lot more natural foods, a lot more vegetables, not nearly as much meat as we eat today because they didn't have refrigeration.
Is here.
Is it?
Here.
Yeah, okay. So if you didn't live